The street lamp flickered against the falling snow, casting long shadows across the empty road. He almost didn't see it. A small shape huddled beneath the pale light, motionless, except for the wind-lifting tufts of fur. At first, he thought someone had lost a kitten, but as he knelt down, his breath caught. The cold had taken almost everything. The tiny body was stiff, frost clinging to whiskers, and the delicate points of oversized ears. He pulled off his coat without thinking, wrapping the kitten carefully as the wind bit at his shirt. It wasn't until he stood under the streetlight that he saw the markings clearly. Spotted rosettes along the legs, tufted ears too sharp, paws too wide. Not a house cat. A bobcat, barely weeks old and barely alive. The drive home felt endless. He cradled the bundle against his chest, one hand steadying the wheel, the other feeling for the faintest rise and fall of breath. The cold snap had been severe, temperatures dropping below zero for 3 nights straight. He didn't know how long the kitten had been out there. Long enough that its body felt more like ice than flesh. Long enough that he wasn't sure bringing it home meant anything at all. Inside, the house was warm and quiet. He moved quickly, pulling heating pads from the closet, filling a hot water bottle, layering towels across the kitchen floor. His hands worked on instinct, slow thawing, gentle friction, checking for frostbite on the paws and tail. The bobcat didn't stir. Its eyes stayed closed, the lids faintly blue. He told himself it was just shock, just cold, just time needed for the body to remember how to live. He worked through the night. Every hour, he rotated the heating pads, tested the kitten's temperature, massaged its limbs with careful pressure. He had no experience with this, no training, no guide, just the stubborn hope that warmth and patience might be enough. Around 3 in the morning, he felt it. A faint twitch in one hind leg, then a shallow breath, deeper than before. He exhaled for what felt like the first time in hours. By dawn, the bobcat's chest was rising steadily, its mouth parted slightly, tongue pale pink and dry. He offered water on his fingertip, and the kitten's tongue moved just enough to taste it. Relief flooded through him, sharp and disorienting. He leaned back against the cabinets, suddenly aware of how exhausted he was. One night, he thought, that's all this needed to be. Tomorrow he'd call a wildlife center. Someone trained for this. Someone who knew what to do with a wild thing that shouldn't have survived. He was about to stand when he heard the soft padding of paws on hardwood. Milo appeared in the doorway, amber eyes wide and curious. The orange tabby moved slowly, ears forward, whiskers twitching as he scanned the nest of towels. The man held his breath. Milo had never been aggressive, but this was different. A predator, even a tiny one, carried scents that should trigger alarm. The bobcat was wild, dangerous in theory. Milo should have hissed, arched, retreated. Instead, he stepped closer. The bobcat's ears flicked weakly. Milo paused, lowering his head until his nose nearly touched the smaller animal's frozen ear. He sniffed once, twice, then did something the man didn't expect. Milo began to groom. His tongue moved carefully over the bobcat's ear, cleaning away frost and grit with slow, deliberate strokes. The bobcat didn't resist. It barely seemed to notice, too weak to do anything but breathe. But Milo kept grooming, focused and intent, the way a mother cat might tend to a newborn. The man sat frozen against the cabinets, watching something he couldn't quite explain. Milo groomed the second ear, then moved to the bobcat's face, cleaning around its eyes and the bridge of its small spotted nose. His purr was low and steady, a rhythmic hum that filled the quiet kitchen. The bobcat's breathing deepened, one tiny paw shifted, curling slightly against the towel. The man didn't move, didn't reach for his phone or try to intervene. He just watched as his house cat, gentle, predictable Milo, claimed this wild creature as something worth protecting. Minutes passed. Eventually, Milo settled beside the bobcat, tucking his body close for warmth. His tail curved around the smaller animal, and his purring continued, soft and constant. The bobcat's body relaxed further, its breathing evening out into something close to sleep. The man sat there on the kitchen floor, the first pale light of morning creeping through the window. He should have been relieved. He should have been planning his call to the wildlife center, figuring out the logistics, getting back to normal. Instead, he found himself watching Milo's ears twitch in sleep, watching the bobcat's tiny ribs rise and fall in time with the house cat's breathing. Outside, the wind had stopped. The snow lay thick and undisturbed across the yard. Inside, something new had begun, something neither rescue protocol nor common sense could account for. Why would a domestic cat, safe and comfortable in his own home, instantly adopt a wild predator that should have terrified him? The man didn't have an answer, not yet, but as he finally stood, leaving the two cats curled together in their nest of warmth, he had the strangest feeling that the answer mattered more than he realized.